about 10 years, we're gonna get to the other side. Tell them about that dream, the vision that you see, the one where all God's children walk together in the land of the free. Tell them about.
This is Kendahl Damico on MouthPieCeSports.com, and I'm joined today by New York-born singer-songwriter Laura Vecchione. Laura, thanks for hanging out with us today.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Well, listen, first things first, your new single, Tell Them About the Dream, off your latest album, Girl in the Band, is making some serious impact because of some very relevant themes. Talk to me a bit about the message in your song.
Well, thank you so much. Tell Them About the Dream is actually, it came out after Girl in the Band because it's so recent and so relevant. So it's released as a single on CD Baby. And it was inspired by President Obama's campaign, and I wrote it right before the election while I was in the midst of promoting Girl in the Band, and so it was sort of miraculous the way everything came together. I was inspired because I heard the story of gospel singer Mahalia Jackson calling out to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., tell them about the dream during the March on Washington. And I heard that story when then Senator Obama was giving his acceptance speech at the DNC in late August. And that just inspired me so much because I'm a Mahalia Jackson fan. And so that was the inspiration for the song that then became a video. I asked pianist Jonathan Baptiste from New Orleans, he's a Juilliard graduate, if he would play on it. And videographer Ralph Mocha came and filmed us and then put together all this amazing footage. And the video has gotten an amazing response. So that's the single, and then Girl in the Band is a little separate.
Okay, no, and it's definitely gotten a huge response, and like you said, it's come at a very appropriate time, obviously, but you have some gospel background, is that true?
Well, I clearly, I'm an Irish and Italian girl. I didn't grow up in the gospel church, but I was really, really lucky to join, when I went to college, I joined the Columbia Barnard Gospel Choir, and I've been singing on and off in gospel choirs ever since. It's an amazing experience.
Okay, so this wasn't one of those songs that just kind of fell into your lap. I mean, you had pure intentions to go out and make kind of a political statement and be a part of this time in history.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, other than the fact that it truly seemed to come in a moment of inspiration, but I was intentionally weaving together the moments in history. I mean, the fact that his speech at the DNC came on the 45th anniversary of King's speech, was amazing to me. And, Obama keeps on, referring to Lincoln and to Roosevelt and to all these presidents. So I sort of said, well, let's make this Tell Them About the Dream, the cry that began with the founders and with, continued throughout our history. And as I said, I've been very honored that it seems to have struck a chord with people who hear it. It's an amazing time. I mean, I feel really honored to be alive right now in American history.
No, absolutely. Yeah, and I think a lot of people would echo that sentiment. So I have to ask, it's kind of become one of those, where were you when Kennedy was shot? But where were you with the inauguration? Were you front and center in front of your TV? Were you in D.C.? How did you experience that?
I had plans to go to D.C. with my friends. I had a whole bunch of friends who were there on the mall, but I actually was doing a TV spot, and I had to sing for a Martin Luther King event as well. So I was up in Boston watching it with my friend Caroline, and we were toasting with champagne in front of me.
Very nice, very nice. Well, I don't know if you know this, but Obama has definitely made it loud and clear that he is a devout Chicago White Sox fan. And obviously we're a sports website, so that makes us happy. But do you have any ties?
Did you see?
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, Kendall. Did you see? I mean, I thought it was amazing during the one of the balls where he was interviewing the kids in Iraq, and it was asking them, your Cubs fan and your White Sox fan, and there was only one girl who was a White Sox fan.
I know. Well, yeah, we were watching here in Chicago, hoping we'd have a few more, but we'll take what we can get. So,
but that was already on his first night. He humanized, our soldiers, brought them into our living rooms, and that just was so moving to me.
Absolutely. But that said, do you have any ties to Cubs or Sox, or are you a baseball fan at all?
This is such a touchy subject. I'm very lucky that I'm kind of a quintessential artist in the sense that I don't fall one way or the other with sports. But, you know, my fan base is mostly in New York and Boston, so that's actually a good thing for me because I'd lose half my fan base if I fell one way or the other.
You're right. That's probably true. All right, we won't press that issue any further then. Well, that said, though, let's tie you in a little bit here. We don't want to cut you off being an artist. Have you ever sang the national anthem at a sporting event or for any other situation?
You know what? It's like one of my dreams to sing the national anthem at a sporting event. I would love to. If you have any contact, I'm there.
All right, maybe we could try and hook you up. That might be true. But who would you want to sing it for? Would it be the Yankees? Would it be the Red Sox? Who would you do? Now you're on the spot.
Now I'm on the spot. Well, I guess whoever offered first. So.
All right. That's a safe answer. We'll go with that. All right. Well, considering though that you could kind of claim that you're a political songwriter now in your own right. Why do you think songs like "Tell Them About the Dream" or the national anthem resonate so much with audiences?
You know, I hate to sound corny, but the word that came into my head really was hope, and I feel like, you know, and that's why I wrote the song. I feel like the United States was founded on sort of not a moral high ground, but like striving for something for equality and equanimity and those things that sort of stir the soul, and that's those are universal things that I think people get emotional about. We want to live in a just world, and it's not a just world.
So do you plan to continue to make kind of political impact with your songwriting, or was this a one-time deal for you?
Well, you know, it's interesting, and I want to mention this as well. This song, "Tell Them About the Dream," is on a Martin Luther King Jr. compilation called Dream On, and there's a website affiliated with that called thedreamcontinued.org. And prior to my writing "Tell Them About the Dream," they had slated one of my other songs called "How We Choose to Hold" to be on that. So I guess this isn't, you know, the first song that has issues in social justice that I write. But rather than political, I mean, I guess they turn out being political, but rather than political, I hope that anything I sing, whether it's something I write or, you know, cover songs that I choose, are things that, you know, can be uplifting or make people think. And I mean, not everything I sing. Obviously, you want the fun stuff too. But rather than, you know, coming down one way or the other, just helping us think about who we want to be and how we want to be in the world.
Sure. Well, I think you're on the right path with that, absolutely, with this single. But real quick, do you have any plans to tour in Chicago anytime soon?
You know, I would love to. I haven't been to Chicago in ages, and I actually played with a keyboard player in Boston who's from Chicago. He's amazing. So
right,
I'll let you know if I come out there.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll work on that national anthem for you. We'll see what strings we could pull. But thank you so much, Laura. The album is Girl in the Band. Laura Vecchione, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so very much, Kendahl.
Still higher action in times when we've been fractured. Let words of hope drive away all doubt in the fierce urgency of now.